Most of us have goals that we are aiming for or that we want to achieve. And this is something that is, of course, healthy and desired. However, if you find that you are just spinning your wheels and not making any progress whatsoever and running against the same issues over and over and over again and have been achieving or trying to achieve the same goal for a long, long time, I want to ask if it's possible that you could just be standing in your own way. Hi, my name is Keisha Dent. I'm a certified consulting hypnotist and the author of Life Change Now. And today I want to talk about how it's so easy is for us to get in our own way. Okay, this is something that is actually very, very common. And of course, to really understand how and why this happens, we'd have to know a little bit about how our brain works. But before we get into all that, I want to ask you a few questions, okay? So if you have a moment, I want you to ask the following questions, okay? So number one, have you desired the same thing for a long time now without getting it? Okay, it could be months, it could be years, it could be longer. Number two, do you tend to compare yourself constantly to others and repeatedly come to the conclusion that you are somehow of lower value than other people? Okay, is this something that happens a lot, that goes through your head? Number three, do you tend to hyper-focus on everything that is going wrong as opposed to everything that is going right? Okay, this is a big one. I know I can speak for myself when I fall into patterns. Number four, do you notice repeating patterns in your life where you aim for a certain desire, but something often happens that prevents you from getting it? Okay, so we're talking about repeating patterns where you aim for something, but something keeps coming up and keeps happening that prevents you from getting that. Do you frequently procrastinate? This is definitely another big one. Do you often get distracted from doing things that will move you closer to what you want? So when it comes time for you to do something that actually you want, that's going to move you closer to what you most desire, do you find suddenly that something distracts you? Do you believe that you would have what you want in your life if it weren't for other people, your family, your genetics, other outside people, and other things? Pretty speaks for itself. When you want to try something new, this is number 8, when you want to try something new, are you prone to worrying or imagining the worst case scenario? Okay, so again, focus on the worst that can possibly happen. And number 9, do you struggle with life purpose or direction even after spending time to determine that? And I would even add, even after spending time with the last couple of videos that we did earlier this year, we talked specifically about life purpose. Okay, do you still struggle with that? These questions, if you answer yes to any of these questions, especially I would say like 3 or more of these questions, it's most likely that you are kind of getting in your own way as far as getting what you want, achieving what you want. And the thing about this is it's something that is very, very sneaky. To kind of understand why this can happen, how this can happen, I'm going to give you like a little bit of a shortcut. Is basically you have to understand how our minds work. Now, if you spent any time watching any of my videos or anything like that, reading my book, you know that the mind basically generally can be simplified into having 2 parts, okay? We have the conscious mind and we have the unconscious mind. The conscious mind is often where your willpower lies. It's where you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. These are your plans, right? Your strategies. I'm going to do this and this and this. And I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to get this new job. I'm going to increase this. I'm going to go and out and have this situation, this type of relationship, this type of family, and I'm going to be so much happier and it's going to be great, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, or slash fortunately, we want this part of the mind, but the unconscious part of the mind, which is another part of your mind, a more powerful part of your mind, an older part of your mind, actually what we're going to do is we're going to stay safe. Because as far as the unconscious mind goes, says, better the devil we know than the devil we don't. Okay. So it's very much about survival and sticking to what is familiar. So anytime you are trying to pull yourself out of your comfort zone, that part of your mind is likely to want to pull you back. Like, no thanks. Thank you very much. We're going to stay exactly here. So what you'll find is unconscious thoughts, unconscious emotions, and unconscious behaviors that will actually stop your forward movement. And I want you to especially look out for a lot of these, such as hyper focus on what's wrong, which is basically fear-based thinking, right? Fear-based thinking, which you know who's driving that train, all the things that are negative, all the things that can go wrong, why it's not safe. When that comes up, you're basically, you know that the unconscious is at work, and it's basically saying, okay, let's think of all the ways that this can go off the rails, because it probably will. So let's go back to where we want to go. So it's really important to look out for that. Especially when it comes to when you are just overthinking and overthinking and overthinking something over and over and over again. That also is a clear sign of getting in your own way, of what most of us will refer to as self-sabotaging behavior. This now, I feel like is now becoming a movement to move away from that term, but it is an old term, and I think everyone most knows that term. So I'm still going to use it, but you can substitute that for just getting in your own way. Okay, and so there's certain signs you want to look for as a symptom of that this could be happening to you, so that when you know it's happening, you can actually prepare in advance and move forward in spite of it, move through the discomfort that it's causing. Another huge one we discussed is procrastination, of course. Okay. Procrastination being a huge aspect of self-sabotaging behavior and getting in your own way. To suddenly thinking of all these things to do, not quite wanting to do it. This is a huge sticky one. I still struggle with it all the time, but the key is knowing what's up and knowing when it's happening so that you can be able to address it and move forward. Okay. So I want you to be mindful of these things. Now, if you want to go deeper into this, okay, we're going to actually go a little bit deeper into this in the next video, but you don't have to wait until then. You can actually, if so inclined, you can, starting now, when you sign up for my newsletter, or even just go to my website in order to get the program, you can right now get access to the full video course that we have. It is called Stop Holding Yourself Back: How to Break the Pattern of Self-Sabotage and Get What You Want, okay? And you're going to find within that just a nice, clean little video series. I think there's I want to say there's 5 or 6 videos that are about 10 minutes each or less. And in it, you're going to answer some questions such as how your mind works, okay, and why self-sabotage and holding yourself back is a thing. You're going to talk about the cycle of self-sabotage. You're going to talk about red flags, how to recognize self-sabotage when it shows up in your life, and it's unique for everyone, okay? And then finally, of course, we're going to talk about freedom from this, how to break out of self-sabotaging cycles and finally get what you want and move closer to what you want. Okay, so such good stuff. You're also going to have a free hypnotic MP3 as well that's also included. That is all about breaking out of old cycles, okay? So check that out. You can find that at the website, www.newworldcoaching.org, and you'll see that right on the homepage, and there also probably will be a link down below. And I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video, and join me for the next video. We'll go into a little bit more details, but again, if you don't want to wait, check it out now. Okay, so thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. And remember, to change your life, you must first change yourself. Be safe and be well, and we'll talk to you next time.